Hey everybody, Sentai 5 here, and welcome to my King-Ohger press conference breakdown. There's quite a bit to talk about, from the trailer to the character bios to just some of the cast tidbits. It's really exciting, and let's get into it. So let's kick things off and talk about the trailer first. Overall, it was really nicely done and had me really excited for the show. I think it's one of my favorite Super Sentai trailers we've gotten in the last few years. So the trailer opens up with the paintings in the ceiling that we saw in the first teaser last week, and the narrator talking about how the Ragnarok Empire has risen in the 21st century and is starting to wreak havoc on humanity. Next, we get some really nice practical shots of the Ragnarok monsters just destroying the kingdoms. It almost looks like it's straight out of Attack on Titan, with the monster just ripping down the castle walls. I really like it a lot. Then, of course, we get some nice shots of the Rangers themselves fighting. Then we're introduced to our Rangers individually with their kingdoms, starting off with King-Ohger. He's from the kingdom of technology called Nikasuba. Next up we have King-Ohger, who is a queen from Ishabana, the kingdom of beauty and medicine. Next is Papillon-Ohger, who looks really cool, and they are from Gokon, the kingdom of ice and snow. Next up we have Hachi-Ohger, who is from Tofu, the land of agriculture. Then we move on to the kingdom of Shugadem, where we meet the king Rakules Hasty. Or is it Haste, because it's pronounced Haste, but it's spelled Hasty. It's an industrial country, and we have a lot of gears behind him. Wouldn't be surprised if he had some Sentai gears or Avataro gears. Next we get this really cool shot of God Kuwagata that looks either rusted or battle damaged. It looks really cool. Then we finally meet Kuwagata-Ohger, who is Gira. Then we get some nice shots of our cast all walking together with the Shugods in the background, as the narrator says that this is a tale about kings who protect the earth, as well as a man who would become king. And then the trailer ends with Kuwagata-Ohger inside the cockpit of King-Ohger, and it's definitely one of my favorite shots from the trailer because he is in this Pacific Rim looking rig as he pilots King-Ohger. It looks really cool, it looks really unique for Super Sentai as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing that in action. It's also a very nice touch that it holds the Ohger caliber as well. But yeah, that's it for the trailer. Overall, really solid. I'm looking forward to it. We only have a few more weeks, so it's gonna be fun. So let's move on to the character bios. First up we have Gira, who is Kuwagata-Ohger. He's a citizen of Shugadem and a self-proclaimed king. He grew up in an orphanage under the castle of Shugadem, which is an industrialized country. He's kind-hearted and is willing to sacrifice himself for the sake of children. He's also nicknamed the King of Evil, which is really interesting, because we saw in the trailer that he says he's gonna rule the world in a very misleading way. And it's also worth noting that he always plays the villain whenever he plays heroes with the kids. Next we have King-Ohger, who is Yanma Gust, the king of Nikasuba, the kingdom of technology. His nickname is President. He grew up in the slums and rose to power via his laptop. He uses made-up swear words apparently, and wants to be the best at all times. Next up we have King-Ohger, who is Hime-no-Ran, the queen of Ishabana, the kingdom of art and medicine. She's an extremely selfish queen that has an eye for all things beautiful, and she'll stop at nothing to pursue those selfish desires. On top of all that, she's a genius doctor who won't hesitate to save others in a flashy manner. Next up is Papillon-Ohger, who is Rita Kanisuka. They are the sovereign leader of Gokon, the kingdom of ice and snow. They're the chief justice of their court who seeks to protect neutrality in the world. They appear to be very stoic, cautious, and a fair and accurate judge, but also compassionate and soft-spoken. They have a very conservative look in order to hide their emotions, probably due to Gokon's location. Next we have Hachi-Ohger, who is Kaguragi Debowski, the Lord of Tofu, the Kingdom of Agriculture. He appears to be a gentle man with a hospitable personality, appearing to help anybody in need, but he's actually two-faced, and behind those smiles is nothing but lies, and would absolutely lie for the sake of his country. He is also a womanizer. Moving on, we have Rakules Hasty. He's the true king of Shugadem, who succeeded his father. He's the most powerful man in the world and united the 5 kingdoms with his exceptional leadership. He's also liked and trusted by his subjects. Next up we have the aides of all the rulers, starting off with Rakules' aides, who are Duga and Boshmar. Next we have Yanma's aide, who is Shiakara. Then it's Himeno's aide, who is Sebastian, and Rita's aide is Morphonia. Moving on, we have the Earth Empire Ragnarok, starting off with its leader, Desnarak VIII, who seeks treasures in order to rewrite the balance of power between humans and the Ragnarok. Then we have Kamejim, who researched the Shoe Gods and gives the Bugnarok their insect powers to make them stronger. This is such a really interesting tidbit because I feel like we might actually get Ranger villains or Ranger-like villains eventually down the line, and could also possibly explain why God Kabuto is fighting God Kuwagata in the trailer, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's it for the character bios, and they all just really sound like they're not going to get along together at first, and I'm all for it. It's going to give us some great character conflict. I can feel it. It's also worth interesting that Gira doesn't have a last name listed. It seems like they're trying to do that on purpose because maybe he's the true heir to the throne even though he takes the throne. Or maybe because he's just been an orphan his entire life that he doesn't really know where he's from, but it still could be connected either way. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm reading and seeing so far, especially Rita's outfit. It looks amazing. Reminds me of Stacy and Sheik. Overall, the press conference was pretty solid. The cast came out onto set, sitting in their 5 thrones. It's been stated that the show is going to lean heavy on the 3D green screen backgrounds that we've been seeing throughout King-Ohger and Don Brothers so far, and it's very evident in the trailer as well, and it kind of looks a little bit better so far, but we have to see how that holds up throughout the series as well. The cast was also interviewed about what Sentai they grew up watching, just like pretty much every other cast is every year, so that's always fun to hear. Kuwagata Ohger's actor liked Abba Ranger, Tomba Ohger's actor liked Deca Ranger, and really liked Deca Yellow a lot. Kamakiri Ohger grew up watching Gokaiger, which is pretty ironic because the voice of the Mobiritz, the legend himself, Tomokazu Seki, was the host of the press conference, and he asked you to do a Gokai change, and he did the voice. It was really wholesome, actually.
Gokai change.
Gokaiger!
And Hachi Ohger's actor grew up watching Dai Ranger. But yeah, it seems like we have a really fun cast, and I can't wait to see them in action. So let me know your thoughts about the whole press conference, what you're excited for, what you can't wait to see, and whatever is on your mind about King-Ohger in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video as always. And thank you again for watching. Be well, stay safe, and stay tuned for another King-Ohger video where I'll be talking about the Quarter 2 leaks in a few days from now. Take care.